Hello, my name is Stephen Oostenbrugge, and I am the Executive Director of the Institute of Certified Professional Managers. Today we're going to talk about what is a manager. Sounds like a very easy question. Unfortunately, it's not when you think about the different perceptions, the stereotypes, the ideas that people have about what managers are, what they are supposed to do. Perhaps you have a very negative stereotype about what a manager is. That individual sitting in the office doing nothing, feet kicked up on the desk playing solitaire while you're slaving out there, doing what you're supposed to do for the company. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit. So what exactly is a manager? When you start talking about a manager, that's a person who is responsible for maybe a part of the company, perhaps overall. We'll talk about that in just a quick second here. They manage the company. We start talking about what does that mean? Charge of departments, charge of people, who works in it, what are they supposed to do? And there's some duties that go along with that. One of the tenets of management are four primary, what do you want to call, pillars associated with managers, and that's lead, control, organize, and plan. Managers do all of those. Now, we're going to talk about leadership in a different episode, but today we're going to kind of focus on what that represents. What are those four pillars which are so important to the world of management today? When you talk about that. So, a while ago I mentioned what is the different types of managers. There's essentially three main types or levels of management. We have the upper level. Those are the CEOs, also known as the C-suite managers, the CEO, CFO, COO, and a host of other ones associated with that. You get the idea of what the C means. But those are the essential leaders, the upper management. They also look at the very long-term goals. They're strategizing many years out. Okay. Second level of management, the middle managers. They interpret plans. They look at setting actions, setting specific goals in terms. They can be, regional plant managers, but they're kind of taking the information from the CEO, kind of breaking it down a little bit more, and they give it to the third, which is the low level, also known as supervisors, first level managers. They're the ones that implement. They take that strategic plan from the CFO, which has kind of been broken down into tactical tasks by the middle management, and they are putting it into practice. So now you're dealing with the operational part of things. So there's a big difference, actually a big discrepancy if you think about it, between the upper management and the first line managers in the sense of what is expected of them. Those first line managers are dealing with the day-to-day. Those CEOs in the upper management are dealing with 4 or 5 more years out, kind of planning, visioning, what is it that they need to do. Well, whereas those in the trenches, so to speak, the first line managers are actually making certain that it gets done. That's where I want to focus, on those first line managers, maybe even the middle managers a little bit, as to those 4 tenets which we were just talking about, the lead, organize, plan, and control. So what do those mean? So the idea of leading. If you have a negative stereotype of that manager who supposedly sits in their office and does nothing, that's not showing leadership. The good managers are those individuals who are out there actually maybe even working right on the line with everyone else, doing the same amount of work, or at least showing that they are capable, showing that they know what they're talking about when they ask you to do something. That shows a form of leadership. Also being aware of those employees. What is some of the challenges that those employees have? Are there problems trying to get the job done? If there is problems in getting the job done, is that manager assisting them or trying to find a solution to those employees to help them achieve the job? Hopefully they are. Okay. Second one, got from the leading, the organizing. What does organizing mean? Now, I'm going to make an assumption. I know I have one. We have this, insane junk drawer. Most people probably have something like that in their kitchen or some other, room in their house. The junk jar. Everything's kind of dumped in there. Very unorganized, to be honest with you. It's like if you can't find it where it's supposed to be, look in the junk drawer. That's not what we're talking about here with a manager. A manager needs to be aware of what does it take to accomplish the mission. What does it take to accomplish what it needs to do for that day, for that month, for whatever time frame that we're looking at. The organization of labor, the organization of resources, which include the labor, Do we have enough people to get the job done? If I know someone is going on vacation starting tomorrow and that role that the person holds that's going on vacation is a requirement to get the job done, am I organizing a replacement? Am I working to find someone who can fill that opening? Someone gets sick. Someone is injured. What do you do? Do we have the ability to cross-train individuals? Thinking ahead to say those contingencies. What if something happens? The only way you can really accomplish some of those things is by being organized, understanding what needs to get done, and understanding what resources and things are available to you in order for you to accomplish. Okay? Planning. Planning goes very close hand in hand with the idea of organization. I kind of just mentioned those. Start planning. Hey, I'm going on vacation next week. And if I do that, it's like, okay, where am I going? Do I have a place to stay? Do I have the, transportation, the means of, getting around? Well, how much money do I need? Do I need a passport? Do I need to exchange funds, depending if I'm going to a different country or not? All these things, this idea of thinking ahead. If you are living in the moment and just, quote, getting by, then you're probably not doing a very good job of planning. And if you are the manager and your employees do not feel that you have planned accordingly, they're going to see that. They're going to see that junk drawer, so to speak, instead of someone who knows where things are and when it needs to get done, can get it done. Last one, controlling. Controlling is a scary one. A lot of people kind of look at that and say, I don't like to control. I don't like conflict. It's like, okay, there's a different levels to this idea of controlling. One is, yes, there's a punishment involved. You break the rules. You don't show up for work today. You come in late all the time. You might get fired. That's controlling. At the same time, that controlling manager, or at least from that tenet of management, has the ability to hire people. I'm going to be looking for the right person that has the right skills, the right attitudes, and whatever else that I see is going to fit what we need to do here. It's a good fit. That's controlling as well, making certain that you have that there. How about incentivize? Hey, if we can get done with our quotas today, perhaps we're gonna knock off early. Instead of that 8-hour workday, maybe if we can get it done in 5 hours, hey, there's an incentive. That's the ability to control. You also have to control the aspects of when resources are coming in, and kind of looking at that as an overall picture. So when you think of and look at your manager today, consider this. These individuals are looking at 4 very important things: the lead, control, organize, and plan. Those tenets of management. They're working through all of those, hopefully, to ensure that your job is smooth, you're able to get the job done, and everybody, you and them, are working towards the mission and the vision of the organization. We're going to talk about those 2 terms in a different episode. On that note, have a wonderful day.